Hello everyone, welcome back. I am doing a tarot reading for Thursday, September 4th, 2025. And I am trying to get an idea of just what everyone's been kind of feeling lately as I shuffle. Lately I've been getting a lot of interesting kind of sort of messages, but I'm not really understanding why or what it means. For example, yesterday I kept thinking of the person. I didn't realize at the time that it was a person. His name was Paracelsus, and apparently he was a very influential sort of doctor and alchemist, especially really influential in the esoteric kind of world. So yeah, just kind of interesting ideas lately. I feel like I've just been kind of, I don't know, just something about Paracelsus, I guess. And he lived in the, I think it was the 15th century. Let me just look it up real quick. Yeah, so he was, 15th and 16th century, so the end of the 15th century. He was born in 1493 and died in 1541, so maybe 15 and 16 have important meanings for some of you. We'll see. Also, if my reading does not resonate with you, then please move on. So let's get started. So it seems like there's a lot of people who feel like they're coming to a close in certain parts of their life. So we have the world, and also just kind of the end of a chapter, but also the beginning of a new one, it seems. And I think in this in this reading, I don't know why, but the color yellow is really sticking out. See on the angel's garment. So just kind of feeling the, oh, okay, we have the Emperor next. So with the Emperor, this could be a new sort of, the ending of old ways of thinking, right? So, and sort of ushering a new way of logic and really kind of bringing in that divine masculine energy. I have, I'm getting the image of, with yellow, I'm thinking the sun, but we'll see if that shows up. And it did. That's so funny. Something really good is about to happen. There's going to be some light shed on something, and I'm getting I don't know why, but I think this has to do with the Trump and Epstein kind of thing, and I don't normally like to go into political reads, but that's just kind of what I'm getting. So something about like really someone exuding happiness, just like warmth, is really coming into their own at this point. So we have the Eight of Wands. This, again, will be kind of a struggle. So it's not, obviously, I always say that it's not going to be easy. It's just kind of one of those things that it's going to be hard to actually get there. So we'll see. Also, like, yeah, feeling kind of trapped, and this could be in reference to, like, the girls who were victims, and, the girls and boys or whoever are survivors of the Trump-Epstein ring. And one card fell out. That's the Two of Swords. Huh. So we like to blind ourselves to the truth, right? I think that with the sun coming through, it's especially important to remember that this is going to shed some light on a lot of really disturbing kind of things that have been happening lately. But again, with the world, it's coming to a close. So I think that whatever this sort of disturbing kind of thing is happening, and it doesn't have to do with Trump or Epstein, it could be anything really, something is going to have light shed on it, and it's going to be kind of a chance for change within our system. So we have a lot of inward sort of processing to do. So where we move on from here, we have the Seeker card. So how really sort of reanalyzing what to do now and how to move forward after whatever the sun sheds its light on. I think that there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of masculine energy, but very like sort of benevolent masculine energy. Nothing like this sort of toxic kind of masculinity that we're facing today. But I think this has to really do with looking inward and figuring out like how to move forward from a time of distress and trouble. We're getting a lot of major arcana here. We have Judgment. We have a lot of similar cards that we've been getting recently, and I think this is underneath the Emperor card, so you have the Emperor and then you have Judgment, right? So in this reading, I think that, like, it's like it's time for a change. These people are waiting, like the people on the bottom here are like waiting to have this change. And so someone's going to come and like, be like a whistleblower, and that's going to like upend everything. So this angel is like a representation of that whistleblower of something. So, okay. Let's see. What's underneath the sun? We're getting a lot of major arcana today. So we have the Lovers, and this doesn't necessarily have to do with, someone, well, actually, that's interesting. It's under the sun. So, I'm not sure what to quite make out of that yet, because I'm not getting the idea that it's like a romantic kind of relationship here. I think it's more in terms of really listening to our intuition about things and not ignoring the greater picture, sort of. So I think it really has to do with, like, oh, I see. Okay. So it's about, like, really sort of analyzing the fact that we're really, like, picking and choosing what to believe. And I think with the sun, this is finally going to, like, shed some light on a lot of things that are, like, happening to us. I mean, I'm thinking, like, people are having the day they voted for. That's all I can think of is, and I'm getting a lot of, like, Gemini kind of energy with the Lovers, like, and I know that, like, Trump is a Gemini, so maybe the sun, whoever that represents, is finally going to be, like, in league with this whistleblower to finally kind of shed light on whatever has been happening. So, I know there are conspiracy theories that, like, Jeffrey Epstein isn't really dead, that he's in hiding, which is plausible, but I don't know the whole story, so I can't make an opinion on it. And so, oh, interesting. This is kind of the beginning of a new cycle and the end of an old one, because we have death here. So with the death card, I think that this is kind of like sort of like a renewal of, like, flipping how we think on its head. So kind of a switch in perspective, and I know that has to do a lot with, like, the Hanged Man, but I think, like, this is also kind of, like, really turning the tables for us. So this next card is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. And I think, the King of Pentacles card is under the Two of Swords card. So I really think that this could really be someone to kind of help move us forward. Someone who's very, like, hardworking, but also is very in tune with how systems as a whole work. And I'm not talking about, like, abstract, well, maybe some. I guess I am in a sense that, like, it could be abstract systems, but it could also be, like, physical systems as well. So, interesting. Yeah, definitely a lot of major arcanas here today. We have the Hierophant, and that is under the Seeker, which in turn is under the World. So definitely, what did I say about the Seeker card? It's all about like reconsidering how we look at things and how things are done. But the Hierophant is also here too to remind us, like, it's okay to follow the rules and how things have always been done, but it's also okay to bend the rules and knowing when to bend those rules. So I think that, like, in this instance, it's kind of like a nudge in the right direction of like how we really consider our choices in terms of where we move forward and how we move forward. So let me just get those back. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. And I think with the Seven of Pentacles, it's really about like perseverance and really standing up for what we believe is right and really sticking to that. Sort of not giving up in times of difficulty, even though it may be the easy choice. The easy choice is usually not the right choice. The next card we have is the Three of Wands. Apologies for that prolonged pause. I was spacing out for a second. So we have the Three of Wands, and I think with that, it's more about like really rediscovering our self-worth and the things that we really put value on, and our fire. Like, this is kind of like a time to really work with one another and to really find common ground. Okay. I'll pull a couple more cards and then do the top and bottom read. So we have the Nine of Cups, which in this instance I think is like about finding peace. Sort of could be internal peace, but it could also be like finding external peace and validation. But I don't think it could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be about external validation. I think it's really just coming to terms with yourself, and just really, okay, finding the end, like almost here, like we're almost there. So it's just about really finding the sense of peace until the end is finally here. So I'll do one more pull and then, like I said, the top and bottom read. We have Temperance. Like I said, it's all about like having the patience to wait and to really see how things unfold, and just really kind of leaning into that and just going with the flow of your intuition. And I like Temperance too, because it's almost like this is almost kind of like the Star card, because in this image you can see that Temperance is holding cups, and he or they is kind of like giving and receiving. So it's kind of like you don't really know. So I think that's like kind of biding your time until the time is right. Okay. So the top card of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles, and the bottom is the King of Cups. So this could be like, in terms of the Knight of Pentacles, it's all about like rediscovering what values you have, and really kind of going forward in terms of like the decisions that we've made before, like with the Hierophant, the Seeker, the World, and just kind of moving forward, like we're going to finally get what we want. And then we have the King of Cups, like we're going to be really embracing our intuitive side with the King of Cups. We're really going to start looking inward and having like those big feelings. And yes, it may be uncomfortable, but I think that a lot of people think that feelings are unreliable. And to some extent they are, but I think this is all about like finding your intuition and really like tapping into that intuition and finding and being that master of your emotions, and just really being in tune with your body and your mind. So this is really kind of like a step forward for a lot of us, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of news about Trump and Epstein coming forward lately. I think there's going to be, I think like, in the near future, I think that, we're going to finally shed some light on things. Maybe Ghislaine Maxwell will slip up. And I mean, yes, this is all speculation, but that's just kind of what I'm getting. And I think that, like, we could be moving into a new sort of era of reflection and moving forward, and really considering how to move forward from being in the terrible place that we're currently in. So that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching. Until next time.